culture, oh what a blend. Join on the journey and let's set the trend.
If you go to the Reynolds School of Journalism, they have a fantastic school of a study that they did where they released the best sites for news that you can trust. So things like Reuters, things like there's one now called Ground News.
Okay.
That one is highly effective because it actually peels away who the ownership is of the news source.
Really?
And shows you the backgrounds. That one is very slick. That is superb. The Guardian. There are some really dedicated, honest sources that you can get your information from. You want to stay away, not for entertainment. If you want to be entertained, that's fine. But
if you want to be entertained, just listen.
Just listen to us.
Yeah, just listen to us.
But you want to stay away from the cable news stuff. That is going to poison your brain. There's a great movie out called the Poisoning of My Dad's Mind. Right? Wasn't that the name of it? The Programming of My Dad. I think that's the name of it. Yeah, it's a lady who made a film about how her dad used to be a pretty easygoing guy and everything else. And over the course of listening to Fox News and talk radio AM crap, he basically just became a brain dead, brain rotted out zombie, and just parroting talking points from fixed noise on a daily basis. Yeah, I think it's the brainwashing of my dad. That's it. The brainwashing of my dad. And it's just tragic. Until we get a hold of that, regulate that crap out of existence, until we get rid of the propaganda. Yeah.
Well, that's why we turn, and often looping back to how do we get our information? We seek out
multiple sources, but then they need to be
on the same subject.
That's
too.
right. But then
on the same subject,
they have to be peer reviewed.
Yes.
If it's going to be academic and scholarly, you've got to have peer reviewed things, which means you stick around on Google Scholar. You go to Eric. You go to EBSCO. You go to places that are going to give you the latest research, or
Papers.
you can stick to the Guardian, things like that. They can give you summations.
There's a couple more, if I may just add. Associated Press,
AP's good,
and ProPublica also does really good work when it comes to just published works.
Sure,
is real journalism.
Yeah. I stick to the Scientific American. That's going to be peer-reviewed articles and things of that nature. I love Skeptic. Oh my God, that guy is fantastic. Skeptic Magazine and the Skeptic Podcast as well. It's Michael Sherman, I think, is Shermer. I believe is his name, Dr. Shermer, and he has a fantastic podcast out where he is just. Once again, does the academic sourcing. I stick to, as far as podcasts, Samharris. Samharris is just, that guy is a Northern Star. His podcasts are deep dives, and he just, I watched him wipe the floor with Jordan Peterson. I love the guy for just, he took on Cenk Uygur years ago.
Oh,
Cenk Uygur tried to accuse him of being like an Islamophobe and everything else, and he just wiped the floor with him.
I have yet to actually see that, but I do know that they had two get-togethers.
Samharris is at another level, man. I would not want to debate that guy. He's a monster debater. And an ethical man. That's the bottom line. He's one of these people, you will know them by their actions. You'll see what he gives to. Words. You'll see that he's not driven by pursuit of wealth. There's deeper callings and you'll find the others like you that you're like, man, I want to be like that guy. I want to be like that guy.
Well, again, going back to aspirations, right?
Yep.
The one thing that I've discovered, and correct me if you feel like what I'm saying is inaccurate.
It's inaccurate.
Very true. But I spend a lot of time attempting to seek out individuals. So not necessarily a specific place where they work, but hey, this person has written a great article.
So you're a stalker.
No. In terms of like, I seek out that individual to see
stalker
what they've written in the past.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, well, they no longer work for this organization.
Yeah.
Because it no longer aligns with either their ethics. It no longer aligns with like corporate driven messaging.
Propaganda.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's interesting because, as I mentioned before, Ryan Grimm being one of those individuals.
Okay. All right.
Michael Schellenberger.
Okay.
Also another investigative journalist.
Okay.
Which is kind of interesting because, some people are like, well, he's on the opposite, ideological spectrum.
Yeah.
Well, he might be in some instances, sure.
Yeah, sure.
But I at least appreciate the fact that he's willing to do, the necessary research. And then I will say that I'm a big fan of independent media.
Yeah.
So whether that be David Pakman, whether that be...
he's awesome.
He is...
Pakman is another one who's an absolute fantastic, highly educated.
Exactly.
And a master at debate. Not a master debater. No, but a true he's really superb. And his analyses... I'll sit there and listen to him, and I'll be like, "Damn!"
Yes,
he just took apart this talking point that you heard on Vox News, or that
Did you see his conversation with Patrick Bet-David?
No,
the PVD podcast.
No, I did not. Okay, I'm gonna have to.
By the way, I do want to just give a shout out to Patrick Bet-David because again, another person who's willing to have a conversation, even though the ideological spectrum might be completely going the opposite direction, but at least to sit down and have a conversation, kind of like Lex or even like Joe Rogan. And now it's kind of interesting. Something tells me that Cenk is following some of those prospects of Lex and Joe.
Patrick Bet-David,
kind of like trying to go into a different direction. But it's interesting to me because there are a number of great individuals that we would listen to as far as, hey, let me be educated. And individuals, and this is, I think, a critical piece to everything. And Eric, tell me what you think about this. My biggest issue is when someone is so certain that they're unwilling to admit when they didn't get it right. To simply say, I stand corrected.
Oh yeah, no, I've screwed up and fucked up so many times. I can't even tell you.
That's my issue. That's one of my primary issues when somebody is unwilling.
Yeah, that's a sure sign of
huge.
Well, it's a sign of narcissism. It's a sign of somebody who you should stay away from because if you can never be wrong, then you're talking about somebody who's stopped listening. They've stopped growing. They've stopped.
So that's a huge one for me.
And they're probably trying to sell you something, right? I mean,
performative.
And there's a little bit of danger there. MLMs are, in case you guys don't know out there, MLMs are basically just Ponzi schemes. Most of them are just basically
multi-level marketing.
They want you to basically just purchase shit, and that's not going to lead you to any kind of financial freedom. I would strongly urge you to listen to people like Clark Howard. That guy's incredible. There's some other interesting people who have financial stuff advice out there. There's one called Azul, Azul. You can look him up.
Oh my goodness! I just had a flashback to the original Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
There is only Zul.
There's only Zul. No, but this is Azul. He's a financial advisor. It's people who actually have the credentials. So if you've got the CFP certification, Certified Financial Public Accountant or financial planner, that's who you want to stick around and
get sound advice.
Yeah, you want to stay away from the MLM stuff. Maybe it helps some people.
I'm excited for you to explore it.
Okay. I'll check it out. But I might be giving you some advice here. Like, let's look at your finances and let's set you up with some monthly investments right into some accounts and stuff. And
and I was going to say, maybe we can also share some of that information as well with our audience. So
let's do it. Let's do it.
Because it reminds me of what is that old tale about? Is it the ants and the cricket? The cricket who played the fiddle. Maybe this is just a European thing. It's the ants who are hard at work.
Maybe it's Aesop's Fables or something like that. Or
maybe
there's a million of those things. Yeah. The fox and the hen and
there's it's definitely one of those where the ants are hard at work throughout the entire time, whereas the
slow and steady
is just playing music.
Slow and steady.
And then all of a sudden, come winter, he doesn't have anything
the rabbit
to eat
and the hare is the one that we know here.
Yeah,
It's the
yeah.
slow and steady wins the race, and that's investing too. MLMs have a very they just have a bad track record.
boy, do they.
Yeah, they just do. You probably want to stay Amway and shit like that. Yikes! You want to stay away from that stuff. But anyhow,
All right.
hey, maybe for our next podcast, when we're going again, we'll cover that stuff. And in the comments, leave us your ideas. Leave us your thoughts. We'll if you want us to have a particular topic that you'd like us to cover, we'll put it on. And with it, hopefully the next time we'll have Squirt and KK back here. They'll be all groomed and have them on the couch, and we'll continue our Freudian couch. And I'll be like, "Tell me about your mother," and I'll be like playing like this, and we can. Have more thoughts about the day and whatnot. I'll have more info and And so I'm Eric Eberhardt, and you are
Admar, and thank you so much for tuning in, and have a phenomenal,
fantastic week, and we'll sign off.
See ya.
Bye.
So as we close the chapter, lend us your ear. The Prime Directive's calling, so let's pass a beer.